Namaskar. What you're seeing currently is very unusual. It's an unusual format for my regular editorial. I am I'm doing this in patches because I'm going to show you my editorial which I shot yesterday, and I was supposed to air that yesterday. I was supposed to present that to you yesterday, but unfortunately I didn't want to present it. I pulled it back because by the time I shot my editorial and by the time it was supposed to be aired, there was a lot of development on the case. Now, I didn't want the editorial to go as is. I wanted the new development also to be incorporated in the editorial, which was not possible yesterday night. So, I am doing this patchwork to my yesterday's editorial. So, what you're going to see is my yesterday's editorial, which was supposed to be, like I said, aired yesterday, and the edition which I'm going to do as patchwork on yesterday's editorial. Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of editorial. Today, we talk about Mr. Parambir Singh, former Commissioner of Police, Mumbai. Today, we talk about the Maha Vikas Aghadi government of Maharashtra. Today, we talk about the opposition party, Bharatiya Janata Party of Maharashtra. We talk about Mr. Parambir Singh's letter, the Home Ministry's reaction, and the opposition's role. Let's get right into the show. Parambir Singh, the former Commissioner of Police, Mumbai, wrote an 8-page letter to the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. And it is copied to the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra. It's copied to the Additional Chief Secretary, Home of Maharashtra, and the Principal Secretary of Honorable Governor of the state of Maharashtra. So it is copied to 3 more people in Maharashtra, and this letter is primarily addressed to the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Now, 8 page letter, let us go into the important aspects of this letter. The first thing that he spoke about, which I'm sure all of us by now know it, is point number 7, where he spoke about Sachin Waze being asked to collect 100 crores, out of which at least 40 to 50 crores from bars and restaurants in Mumbai. I will read out that part of the letter and then we'll take it further. This is point number 7, where Mr. Parambir Singh writes, in the aforesaid context, Shri Sachin Waze, who was heading the Crime Intelligence Unit of the Crime Branch of Mumbai Police, was called by Shri Anil Deshmukh, Honorable Home Minister, Maharashtra, to his official residence, Dhyaneshwar, several times in the last few months and repeatedly instructed to assist in collection of funds for the Honorable Home Minister. In and around mid-February and thereafter, the Honorable Home Minister had called Shri Waze to his official residence. At this time, 1 or 2 staff members of the Honorable Home Minister, including his personal secretary, Mr. Palande, were also present. The Honorable Home Minister expressed to Mr. Waze that he had targeted to accumulate rupees 100 crore a month. For achieving the aforesaid target, the Honorable Home Minister told Shri Waze that there are about 1,750 bars, restaurants and other establishments in Mumbai. And if a sum of rupees 2 to 3 lakhs was collected from each of them, a monthly collection of 40 to 50 crores was achievable. The Honorable Home Minister added that the rest of the collection could be made from other sources. According to Mr. Parambir Singh, this is not just Mr. Waze who was told, also ACP Shri Patil and DCP Shri Bhujbal were also told to do the same thing. And they were told on the 4th of March to ensure same way, 1,750, collect 2 to 3 lakhs. And Parambir Singh actually had a WhatsApp conversation with Mr. ACP Patil to prove the fact that this conversation actually happened. The Home Minister actually told Mr. Waze the same. The Home Minister actually also told Mr. Patil the same, and even the secretary to the Home Minister, Mr. Palande, said the same. So he basically got all this proof, right? He's a police officer. He knows how to get his evidences right. So he did that. One also should remember that he also spoke about the interference of the Home Minister as far as the working of the police force is concerned, where he said that the Home Minister constantly called his officers to his residence and gave instructions going above the head of the commissioner and also senior police officials, which he said was absolutely wrong. Now, what happened here is disastrous. If what he is saying is the truth, then that's absolutely disastrous. I will get to the government, but before I get to the government, let us talk about Mr. Parambir Singh, former Commissioner, Mumbai Police. Mr. Parambir Singh is a police officer. He is the senior most police officer of Mumbai. One of the senior most police officers of Maharashtra by rank. When such a thing was happening, and according to him was happening for the last 1 year, and this collection thing was happening for the last 2 months, why didn't the police top cop call for a press conference? Why didn't the police, the top cop, release an open letter like this, which he did now after he was transferred? Why couldn't he do this then? And let the people of the city know that, listen, this is what your Home Minister is doing. Even if he was sacked, he would have been a hero of this city. Every person in the city would have respected him and would have saluted the man. He would have been a true whistleblower. This letter emerges after he was transferred, and like the letter says, after the Home Minister told a newspaper called Lokmat that, you see, there has been lapse in investigation as far as Mr. Parambir Singh's office is concerned in the Antalya case. He said there were serious lapses. So the allegation of lapse of investigation was first put by the Home Minister on the former Commissioner of Police, to which this was a rhetoric by the former Commissioner of Police. This is a rhetoric. Had this letter been in isolation, and had the police commissioner said that, listen, under my watch, no, I will not allow you to collect 2 to 3 lakh rupees because that is extortion, and my job, my uniform and my chair demands that I stop extortion. Therefore, I am going to public to ensure that I stop extortion, and in need be, you can sack me or I will put in my resignation. I think he would have done his job. I think he would have actually stood by his oath. So this is as far as the letter goes. My point remains. When police officers, such senior police officers, see such blatant act of extortion, blatant act of breaching of law, they keep quiet. They only talk when it affects them. They kept quiet when it was affecting the general people, the citizens who they have taken oath to protect. So this is as far as Parambir Singh goes. Parambir Singh has moved to the Supreme Court seeking CBI probe into allegation malpractices of Maharashtra Home Minister Mr. Anil Deshmukh. He has moved to this the Supreme Court asking them for a CBI investigation. Now this is what happened between yesterday, after I did my editorial, and yesterday night. So that was the first thing I wanted to tell you. Sharad Pawar yesterday said that, you see, the induction of Mr. Vaze into the Mumbai Police Force was purely the act or decision taken by Mr. Parambir Singh. I completely disagree to that. And if it is, then my God, what is the Home Ministry doing? Why do we even have a Home Ministry? A man who was suspended for a custodial death, a man who has been suspended for 17 years, a man who resigned from the police force in 2007, a man who joined a political party in 2007, is brought back, and the Home Minister doesn't even know about it, and the Home Minister doesn't have a say. A protocol is breached. I don't even think it is as per the police manual. Like what Mr. Shivanandan said, 17 years you can't keep a person suspended. So if there was a breach of police manual, there is a breach of protocol, the Home Minister says, I don't even know how he came in. And just because the Commissioner of Police wanted, he walked in. Is that even possible? If this man was brought in, wasn't he brought in for a specific reason? Over and above that, he was made the head of criminal intelligence. He was He was heading the crime intelligence unit of crime branch. Mind you, a man who was out for 17 years, who didn't do policing work, who was doing his business, and I'm sure he was prosperous because he managed to get himself a Mercedes Benz according to reports. He is prosperous. The man who was outside of the system bought into the system, and the Home Minister says, I don't know. Is that even possible? So that is absolutely incorrect. I don't think that that argument stands. Secondly, all of this happened, lapse of, according to the Home Minister, when he says there was a lapse of investigation, when he says that there was flaws in investigation and all of this was happening, such a big case, such a huge case, Mukesh Ambani, for crying out loud, one of the world's richest man, and such an important citizen of this country. It was a threat to his life. And the Home Minister says, "Mujhe nahi malum, I just came to know that there was a lot of labs, Baba." What are you talking about? Why is the Home Minister sitting there as a Home Minister then? To the best of my knowledge, I do not think Sharad Pawar is going to allow Anil Deshmukh to resign. No matter what the opposition says, no matter what the opposition does, and the more the opposition demands Mr. Anil Deshmukh's resignation, like I told you, I was very doubtful from the day one that Sharad Pawar would ever go against Anil Deshmukh. Because if Sharad Pawar goes against Anil Deshmukh, Sharad Pawar is conceding to the fact that NCP and Anil Deshmukh were involved in this corruption. Day before yesterday, on Sunday in fact, Sharad Pawar said that the crime was heinous and he had left the entire decision about Anil Deshmukh to the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Uddhav Thackeray. Yesterday, after the episode was shot, after my editorial was shot, Sharad Pawar gave a press statement that no, Anil Deshmukh was absolutely clean. In fact, Sharad Pawar said Anil Deshmukh wasn't even there in Mumbai when this alleged discussion or alleged conversation about gathering money was happening between him and Mr. Vaze and him and other officers. So this is something that Sharad Pawar said. Now the thing is, of course, Bharatiya Janata Party claims to be having other evidences which proves the matter otherwise, but that is something that is still to be shown, still to be proven. This is what the next update was that I would want to share. As far as the opposition is concerned, I should say the opposition did a fabulous job of investigating this case. The opposition did a very, very good job of being an opposition. In fact, they had collected information, maybe because the center gave them the information, but they had collected information and they had kept this information in the assembly. In fact, the leader of the opposition, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, had spoken about protecting Mansukh Hiren during the assembly while he was speaking. But the point is, there is a problem. The problem is, till lately, the focus was Mr. Parambir Singh. After this letter, the focus became the government. While the opposition did a fabulous job, I say this before, I say this again, but the opposition should be doing this for the state, for the people of the state, for the people of the city, and not for ensuring they get political mileage out of it. Getting political mileage is fair. I understand that because ultimately they are politicians, they need to get political mileage. I'm not disputing that. But the fact is, because Mr. Parambir Singh wrote this letter, because this letter is now working for the opposition, it is working for the opposition to demand Mr. Uddhav Thackeray's resignation or Mr. Anil Deshmukh's resignation. It is working for them. That shouldn't be ensuring that whatever Mr. Parambir Singh, if at all he is involved, and if he is involved, that should not be covered. Mr. Parambir Singh should be not shown as a whistleblower, but as a person who is part of this entire mess and should be investigated as much as the Home Minister, as much as the Chief Minister, as much as Mr. Vaze, as much as anybody else who is part of the governance. Just because he helped them to get a political one-upmanship, that shouldn't win him any favors. A lot of people yesterday asked me, sent me messages whether I think that the government is going to fall. Let me tell you very categorically, okay, no matter what, no matter who, what strategy, where it works, how it works, who is going to do what, in Maharashtra, In Maharashtra, let me categorically tell you, and I have been telling you this from 2019. In Maharashtra, the government will not fall till such time that Sharad Pawar doesn't want it to fall. The day Mr. Sharad Chandra Pawar wants this government to fall, the government will fall in a couple of hours. Till such time that he doesn't want the government to fall, this government is not going to fall, and till such time that he doesn't want another government to form, that government will never be formed. So the fact remains that the key is with Mr. Sharad Pawar. Now, if Mr. Sharad Pawar decides in a month or two that he is fed up with Shiv Sena, or he has better options with some other party, or he has better options with Bharatiya Janata Party, then he can turn that key and it'll work, it'll happen, the government may fall and there'll be another government. But as on now, to the best of my knowledge, to the best of my understanding, I don't think that part of it is happening. I think Sharad Pawar is very much allied with Shiv Sena and the Congress. Sharad Pawar wants this government to work. So I don't think that is happening for now. I repeat, I don't think that is happening for now. A lot of people ask me, what next? You see, currently it's a political game. It's moved from a crime investigation to a political game. Okay, I wish it goes back to the crime investigation it was, for two reasons. First of all, we talk about Mumbai police, one of the best police forces in the world. We are talking about that, and we are talking about the rot in Mumbai police. If this is allowed to grow, this will only spoil the entire force, one of the best force we have. It will spoil the force. Secondly, it is very dangerous for the economic capital of India. It is very dangerous for Mumbai. So I guess the first thing our politicians, if they are really bothered about the people, the first thing our politicians should do is take their political fights. Of course they should do their political fights. Of course they should do their political one-upmanship. But hang it on for a minute. Let that be in the back burner for a minute. Initially focus on solving this case. Now, by an investigation agency saying that the case is solved, like the ATA saying that the case is solved, necessarily the case is not solved. A case is, technically, into my opinion, a case is solved when the court convicts the accused. That is when a case is solved. Because most of the time, 90% of the time, a court does not convict the accused. There is acquittals. And the court shows the holes in the investigation. So whatever one may say, the case is solved and the case is solved in 8 days and 9 days. If there are holes in the investigation, if the accused are not convicted, then there is no point in saying that the case is solved. So the first thing that I think the government and the opposition, to a certain extent coming together, should ensure that there is a fast track court. There is a fast track court. This fast track court should ensure that the Antilia bomb scare case should be solved in 20 to 22 days. The Mansukh Hiren case, the Mansukh Hiren murder case should be solved in 20 to 22 days. In 26 days, 25 days, if this case can be solved, what will happen is Mumbai, Maharashtra and India will come to know what was the truth. We will come to know where is the rot in the system, what part of the system was rotting and what should be corrected immediately. Number one. Number two, I think there should be a panel of senior IAS officers and ministers sitting and reviewing the senior postings, the transfers that has happened. A lot of people were transferred before time. A lot of transfers were absolutely randomly done, which is a fact, which is being spoken about in all IPS circles, in all IAS circles. These murmurs are there, and there is a definite dissatisfaction in the force. I think there should be a panel that should be sitting together, and this panel should be reviewing each and every transfers, and especially transfers that has been done before time. So that's my point number two. My point number three and my last point is, let Maharashtra be the first government that enforces the police reforms that was suggested in 2006 by the Supreme Court. Let Maharashtra be the first government. Let it be implemented in Mumbai first. It will be a lesson, it will be a great example for the rest of the country, and believe me you, this system will be corrected, this entire mess will be sorted, and you will have a good force. And this is what really politicians are there for. This is what really leaders are there for. This is what really state heads are there for. This is what they should be doing today. This is what they should be focusing today, to get back Mumbai police into what it was, to ensure that the rot of Mumbai police is cut and chopped off, and to ensure that the force is back to its old glory. So this is how I would like to end my editorial, and this is why I thought I will take one more day and come back to you. Till I see you next time, Namaskar.
Hello everyone. HW News English is 2 years old now. When we started this venture, we promised ourselves one thing, that news should remain free, because right to know is the right of every Indian. But to keep news free for everyone, we need support from some of you. And thus we have rolled out membership on our YouTube channel HW News English. But mind you, the membership is completely voluntary. The programs that we were doing earlier, that we are doing now, will continue to remain free. First level is a basic level. Here, you can be our supporter by paying Rs 199 per month. This membership gives you certain perks and benefits. The perks include unique badges in front of your name, a live show from Mr. Sujit Nair and from Mr. Akhilesh Bhargava per month for our members. You can also vote in some exclusive members-only polls. Now the second level is Super Supporter. Here you can be our Super Supporter by paying Rs 3,999 per month. This membership will include every perk that comes with basic level. Additionally, our Super Supporters can be a part of a WhatsApp group where we can have discussions and suggestions on various topics. The second perk includes a gift pack with our merchandise. And the third perk is a Google Meet with Mr. Sujit Nair, where you can join the meet and ask your questions to Mr. Nair face to face. Lastly, if you like, we would give a shout out to our super supporters in our programs. So, hope to see you soon with our badges.
The emerging backbone of India's economy are our startups. They represent India's youth. They represent India's aspirations. They represent India's hopes. They represent our fight against an insensitive bureaucracy, against an insensitive system. They represent the fight of our startup entrepreneurs against an indifferent system, against an insensitive banker, against challenges of dealing with the government, and against all the odds with which they started a startup. Every startup begins with a brilliant idea, a unique idea, an idea which nobody else thought of, and that becomes a business enterprise. We are starting our next episode series on what we call startup stories. It is our curiosity to know what was that idea, what was the motivation, what was the determination because of which one talented entrepreneur, without any background of business perhaps, decided to venture out on his own and create a successful enterprise. These are the ideas that motivate us also. If you have a startup story which is interesting, we would want to talk to you also. Come back to us with your own startup stories, and you might also be the person we would like to talk to.